Well, here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Real Estate Makes Us Drink. Brian Quinlan here from Daniels Real Estate.
Brad Nickham from Nest Mortgage Group.
And our guest,
Aaron Christy from Indy Roof Company.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. I got to change that.
That's what I was going to say.
We had a rebrand just here recently. Indy Roof Restoration. There we go.
What was awesome is when he said that showed up exactly at the right time. That was crazy cool.
Good timing. I mean, you really worked that out nicely.
I did, yeah. I was thinking what the production team told me and counted us in, so we knew.
Production team. Well, cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers to you.
Aaron, thanks for being here.
Cheers.
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 Thank you.
Well, today, Brad, I am drinking one of my favorites, the Tangerine beer from Lost Coast Brewery out of California. I actually mentioned it on a previous episode when we had Matt Braun on the show.
Yeah.
That was the beer I found down in St. Augustine. So, big fan. And you have tequila, which is shocking.
Yeah, it is shocking. I wish I would have known that. I searched all over for your favorite. I thought it was Blue Moon based on listening to all of the podcasts to find what beers you said were your favorite. And then that's what I got you for Christmas.
Well, my birthday. It wasn't Christmas.
Oh, your birthday. It's Christmas to me.
Which tequila are you drinking today?
Reposado Tequila Colorado.
You just opened that bottle today.
I did. I just actually got that bottle and those other three up there. It's not available in Indiana at our stores. I had to order it and have it shipped here. I liked it because it comes with a guitar pick on it.
Excellent.
You
were very excited about that, I remember.
I was, yeah. That's pretty neat. But the guy that started actually was a musician, and their whole story has a lot of music behind it. And I thought it was pretty cool, and it's pretty good tequila.
Okay. Aaron, what are you drinking?
Oh, man, I'm being a basic bitch. I got
That's okay.
Red Bull and Tito's. So, yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, I like it.
Basic is good, you know.
Red Bull and vodkas, that's a go-to.
Yeah.
I do Red Bull and tequila.
Yeah. I don't think I've had Red Bull and tequila before.
Once you go that way, you never go back.
Okay. I'll give it a run. Maybe that'll be a second drink.
There you go. All right. So, Indy Roofing and Restoration.
Yes.
What does all that entail now?
Well, so here we've always been a restoration company, and I just probably named it improperly when we got started. To be perfectly honest with you, man, we've always done roofing, siding, gutters, interior. There's leaks when you have an insurance claim. People have issues. You have to deal with it all, and so it went along the way where there were people that were like, we got everything approved and ready to roll, and they were like, oh, I didn't even know you did siding. And I'm like, oh yeah, we do. And then, that happens more and more and more. And so finally I was just like, we just got to do the brand change so everybody knows. And so we just avoided it for a few years because we were so busy. It's a lot of work to do a rebrand on everything. We got, 20 some odd trucks that we got to switch. Fortunately, it's so close. All we got to do is cover the company with the "and restoration" sticker. So it's not a massive undertaking, but it's still annoying to get them all into the shop.
All the stationery has a handwriting and restoration.
Yeah. I still we have Indy Roof at Indy Roof Restoration emails now. The Indy Roof Company ones still go there. I still just use that one and give everybody that one. I have no intention of changing it. So it's still
a longer email address is not fun.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's true.
So you started the company, is that accurate?
Correct, in 2018.
2018. Okay. How did you get into that gig?
Man, that is absolutely random. If you would have told me, I was going to be a general contractor 10, 12 years ago, I'd have been like, you're crazy because I don't like working on stuff. I was like, my dad never worked on anything. I never worked on anything. I was always, I worked with people. I was in sales and marketing at my family's company for 16 years. And it was a lot of travel. I traveled all over the country. I worked in Florida and Georgia, and Alabama, and Texas, Louisiana, everywhere. And it was home a week, gone a week, home a week, gone a week. And so then I got married and we had kids, and now the kids are crying every Sunday when it's time to go to the airport. And even when you're home for a week and you can't really relax because you got to leave on Sunday or Monday. And so I was like, you know what? So I got to figure out something else. And so talked to my wife. We went through some stuff, and I actually decided to open a furniture store. And so opened a furniture store, and we were doing a build out and everything like that. And while we're doing the build out, one of my friends is like, hey, he's like, this guy he was like a one guy, one truck type of deal. And he was like, he went off to adjust claims in West Virginia or somewhere, and for the winter, and kind of asked me to watch his company. And he didn't know anything about it either.
Oh,
He's
good.
Yeah,
Good.
he was just like, if somebody calls, just go out and do whatever. I can't remember what he said at the time. He's like, but anyway, do you want to sell some roofs with me? And I'm like, I like selling stuff. I like learning stuff. I was pretty bored at the time. People were doing the build out, and I didn't have a whole lot to do.
Just read the book, Why Not to Go Into Retail.
Yeah, man. It was just one of those things. And so there's not a lot of roofing in winter typically.
Yeah.
Especially traditionally. Actually, we do a lot of stuff now. What is it?
The word especially.
Can you punch him?
Yeah, I got that side. So he's covered.
He picks on every word. Be careful. You would think that he was not a math teacher. You would think that he was a
An English teacher.
verbal Karen.
Again, 8 years of elementary school, I had to teach it all. Like, you
I
know,
say
they're-
especially too, except for now I have to sit back and think, and then it's so stupid.
I threw you off. Sorry, especially.
No, you're good. I'm just listening. So anyway, we watched a bunch of YouTube and went to some classes and learned as much as humanly possible. It's amazing what's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It really is.
We did that all winter, which is just actually it was towards the end of winter, and this was in 2017. And so spring comes around, make a couple connections, especially with realtors, which has ended up eventually being what I started my business based on. And I sold about 3 roofs, and yeah, I know it's pretty wild, dude. Calm down.
Hold up.
And,
hold up. We also sold a couch while we were doing this.
Well, we had opened the store. We had opened the store in spring, and I absolutely hated it because
Yeah.
before I told you guys I was traveling all over the country, and now I'm just stuck in this place selling like discount mattresses and all this stuff. And it was a big shift for me, and I absolutely despised it.
Can you beat Bob's price?
Yeah, dude. And so we ended up. The guy actually came back from wherever he was at, and just the nicest possible way. Didn't have meshing personalities, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm done." And so I was focusing on the furniture store, and this is early 2018, and I kept getting calls from realtors like, "Hey, I need this roof done," because I'd done a lot of conversations.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, I'm not doing roofs anymore. I'm not doing roofs anymore." And I kept just telling these people sorry. And eventually, I'm like, "Man, this is the 7th call that I've had on a roof." I'm like, I'll just start a roofing company on the side, and I'll do them here and there. I had a crew that's been doing roofing for years, and I was like, I'll do that. So then I started doing that on the side here and there, and I was like, I love this way more than this. I absolutely despise this. It's about being happy, right?
Yeah.
Totally. 100%.
So that job that I was in for 16 years, my family business, great gig, make great money, learned a ton, but I wasn't happy. And so that's why I was like, I wanted out of it. And I said I wouldn't get anything that doesn't make me happy again. So closed the furniture store, went full-time in roofing. At July or August of 2018, we had a huge storm. And I went through and I talked to a bunch of realtors again because they have listings everywhere and they have problems everywhere. And I got a ton of business. And then, like realtors, if you do a good job, they share your information
Yeah, we
with
do.
each other, And so my name went around, and then next thing I know, I was so busy with them, and I just spent 2 years by myself doing every single aspect of the business, learning everything I could possibly learn. And then in 2020, I decided, hey, I'm comfortable enough with literally every angle of this business. I think it's time to grow. And that's when we kind of brought some more people on. I brought some people on a GM, and we started hiring other sales reps and doing different things, and it just kind of blew up from there.
You dropped a big nugget that most people don't get in life. It's when you wake up every day and you dread going to work.
Yes.
There's got to be a point in there if you're ever going to be successful,
Yeah.
truly successful. It doesn't mean you made a whole bunch of money or you have a jet or that. I mean, that's nice. There's a lot of very miserable, wealthy people.
For sure.
But to wake up and be truly successful is the day that you make a decision that you're going to do something for you and your family and go, hey, look, this is great. I'm done with this. I'm going to go start what I really am passionate about and what I want to do.
Yeah.
Brian and I, it's being internet famous.
Are we there yet?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
No,
what's
but-
what's crazy about that is, at first, I mean, it's scary. scary to
yeah.
me.
You don't have a
Changes.
paycheck coming in. You don't know where the next dollar bill is going to come from,
Yeah.
and you got to go make it yourself.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
I was scared to death. And it was one of those things where I was like, I just went to bed and then I woke up and it was a mind shift. And I was like, you know what? I can do this. I don't care. Like before I was making multiple six figures at my family's company in sales and marketing there. And it's scary to leave that. And I didn't go to college. I graduated high school and went right into the workforce. And so not having that there and it's like a degree to fall back on or anything like that, I just kind of stuck it out longer than I probably would have. And I just made it sound like, I don't care if I make multiple six. If I make enough to maintain my lifestyle and be happy without any extra,
Who cares?
being happy is worth it.
Absolutely.
And that mind
100%.
shift just changed it all. And then I enjoyed it so much. And I took everything that I learned from that business about just treating people well and calling them back and, having decent customer service, which apparently these days can be a problem.
I'm going to write a book, and it's going to be The Keys to Success, and it's going to say in it, call people back.
Call people back.
That's it. That's all you have to do.
And do what you say you're going to
Do what you say you're going to do. Absolutely. There's a whole thing. If I say it's, the whole, if you help other people get what they want, you inevitably get what you want.
For sure.
But if you focus on what you want, you don't get it. And having that, I say it all the time in my business. The realtors like me because I return their call or answer their
Yeah.
phone, or
That you do.
or get upset when I can't get something done for them that I need to do right now. Like I feel like I'm failing when that happens. So I appreciate that.
Well, it's crazy. It was mind blowing to me because when I started becoming pretty successful pretty quickly, a lot of people ask me, they're like, "How are you doing so well so quickly?" And I'm like,
Call
"I call people back and do what I say I'm going to do." Like I don't know.
I have I have that question all the time. I'm like, how'd you do that kind of volume? It's like I answered my phone and I called people back.
I did my
Like,
job appropriately.
we close on time. Like that's it's
pretty
like
wild, but-
nothing that nobody else couldn't do.
No,
Right? I mean, that's the thing, and that's what you said is so. The whole idea of burning your boat and I'm going to go do what makes me happy now, and not worried about the finances, and it'll all come. That's so key. I mean, you did the same thing.
I did, yeah. I don't know if you know, like I was a teacher for 20 years.
Yeah.
And in the end of the 2020 school year, I dumped out of that and went into real estate. So,
Yeah.
Leaving the very secure 20-year job where I, was making good money.
Yeah.
And then jumping into this where there was no guarantee of anything.
No.
That is, that's scary.
But you said the key though, and this is hilarious because you said burn the boats or burn the ships. Right.
Burn the boat behind you.
I don't have tattoos that show, but I have a massive tattoo on my leg that is a guy burning a ship.
Oh, no
and
way.
It's for that reason because you can't. Nobody ever that says I'm going to try that succeeds. Right.
No.
You have to say, I'm doing that.
I'm gonna make it happen.
I'm going all in. You have to burn the ships and you have to go forward.
Where's
That's
that
the only
burn
way.
the ship story come from? I just want to see what Brian says
was-
when you
oh,
know.
Brian.
No, I want you to
Well-
say because then he'll know.
I know the burn the boats.
Where's that come from? A book I tell you to read all the time.
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
It's deep in the story of Think and Grow Rich. Is about a warrior that had a smaller army than the army they had to take on, and as they stood on the beach getting ready to all really donate their lives to this giant army, he ordered them to fire back at the boats and sink their own boats. And they said, we're either going to win here and we're going to take over this land, or we're going to die here. We do not have a retreat. And they burned the boats, and this really small army beat this giant army.
So there's no thought of retreat.
Can't even do it.
They know if I want to live, I have to win.
I gotta win.
I have to move forward. And so nobody's half-assing it. Nobody's thinking, oh, well, maybe we can, sneak out of here in a little bit. Like, it's done. You're winning or you're not.
Right, we're either going to win or someone's going to go, you did.
Yeah. And they would probably prefer to be alive, so you go all in.
There is a thing about waking up that day and going, okay, I'm starting over. I did it as January 16th, 2016. I left a business and went, okay, I've got zero income source.
Yep.
But none of the bills decided they weren't going to come.
It's crazy.
They do
Yeah,
not.
Bill was coming here, whether I wanted him to or not. It is burning the boats, making that decision, and having a vision. I mean, you had a vision for what you want to do, and you enjoyed it. Those are the keys. That's That's good stuff.
So it's crazy because I did one thing predominantly my whole life, which I didn't enjoy. And I always had in my head, who enjoys their job? Like what, movie stars? You know what I mean? Like, you know, that, and so I never understood that, hey, there are jobs out there that you can, you know, relate to, that you can enjoy. And it's not something crazy, you know, like you don't have to be a movie star or whatever it is. It's like, there are things like I legitimately love roofing. Nobody like cares about roofs too much, but like I get to go out and I get to talk to people. I get to help people. It's a lot. It's a game because the insurance adjusters are trying not to approve things.
Right, you're trying to get them to do it. Exactly.
Or when you're working with realtors, you got to get deals pushed through by coming up with different things. And so I mean, it's a giant chess game, and I get to travel around and like, obviously not all over the country like before, but like here in Indiana, I'm going to their house, I'm going over here, and I'm going there. And so it's very enjoyable. So don't think, if you're like, well, who you ever were like me, don't think, oh, well, you know, you have to do this in order to, like, there's a lot of stuff that you can do that you enjoy.
100%.
That's a normal job.
You know, I think people can I think it's easier when you're the owner of the business, right? It's easier to love what you do when it's yours. Or if you're like a realtor, independent, you know, somebody that you're not getting wagged by the dog. You are. We both are. It's just the customer that wags us. But we like that. We don't like a boss tell us what to do. But I know I have friends that, you know, are in the medical profession that, you know, wake up every day and love to go to work. You know, and so there is a lot of jobs out there that people really enjoy. And it's truly finding what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So being a roofer.
Yeah.
Have you ever fallen off a roof?
Never. I almost ate it one time. So when we're roofing, there's the shoes that you wear that are called cougar paws, and then on the bottom of them it's like foam, and you peel them off when they wear down. They're velcroed on. You peel them off, and then put a new pad on, and so that keeps it from scarring the shingles. Well, I was getting up on a roof one time. The crews are all up there roofing, and I start to step on the roof, and it peeled off. I think I stepped. It was a really steep one, and it peeled off like this, and the Velcro came undone, and I caught it like on the toe and my other foot, and I about ate it off. All the roofing guys were like, they were waiting for it because they're like, oh, they said, you know, this guy.
Hefe, are you okay?
Yeah. This idiot about fell off the roof. I'm like, I'm just gonna let you guys handle this one. I was gonna
just checking in.
It's fine. You guys are good.
Good job.
Good.
Yeah.
So
we get the shoe fixed.
Have you ever had a roofer fall off a roof on a job?
We have. It happens here and there. We ask everybody to tie off, and they do most of the times, but sometimes when they're not that steep and whatever, they just try to, you know, get it done quicker because they get paid by the job, not by the hour. So they hustle, and those guys work hard. And sometimes they're not paying attention, and just we did have a guy one time. Fortunately, it was a friend of ours, but they had removed the skylight. They were replacing the skylight because it was peppered with hail. Guy wasn't looking. Turns around, walks. Goes right in the skylight, goes through the drywall, lands in their tub. Their alarm started going off because they weren't home.
Fortunately, no one was in the tub.
Nobody was in it, but they called, their alarms going off. We were like, hey, we have a roofer in your house.
The homeowner
the alarm's going off.
Now she's pregnant.
Yeah. So that was a pretty interesting one. And
Mike fell into Valerie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was trying to bring it up. You brought it down.
No, that's all good. You know, I've walked on my roof a few times. I actually used to paint houses back in my earlier days, which sometimes involved having to walk up the roof to, you know, paint a little section.
Well, there's a dormer there.
There's a dormer up there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got to paint the chimney.
That's right. Never a good feeling, but
yeah, it's one of those things. Even when I first got up the roof span, I was like, I don't know, man. But then after you're on them every day, man, I'm doing cartwheels on the ridge. You just get used to it.
That's a video I'd like to see.
All right, I never really did that. I'm just saying.
I have that metal roof. And getting up there, it's like as soon as you lose your traction, like when you start to slide.
So they have cougar paws for that. They have magnets in
that's what I need. I need big magnet shoes.
You do.
Yeah.
I'm not strong enough to lift my foot back up.
Yeah.
Like I just boom, boom. I just stuck there.
Hey, help!
I'm magnetically connected to my roof.
You just have to undo the shoes, but then you're just in socks.
Socks and boom, right down. Then I'll be hanging in the heels of them.
Oh my goodness.
Now,
what a great picture we just painted.
I have heard that the metal roofs are better for I don't know if I want to say the environment, but insulation and like, but I don't see a ton of them.
They're about twice as much as shingle roofs is why. So you have the new modern like standing seam that you see over like front porches. That stuff's probably a little over double what shingles would be. Wow. And then you have like the barn metal style, like the corrugated type metal that's a little bit cheaper than double, but it's a more expensive product. That's what it is. That's why you don't see a ton of them.
Do they last longer? I think it was energy efficient was the word I was looking for.
Maybe kind of, but so in Indiana, the whole 30-year shingle thing is, they stopped saying that a while ago. They call it limited lifetime now. In Indiana, you get about anywhere from 15 to 25 years, just depending on which way the roof's sitting, how much it's baking in the sun all day, different environmental factors, how many storms it gets. But after, let's call it 20 years, like the metal roof's going to start like kind of flaking and stuff, that like protective coating, and they don't look awesome for, it might last 40 years. I think it's going to probably look like shit for the last 10 years, but if you don't care about that, cool. So they probably last a little bit longer.
You can paint them.
Yeah, you could. Not the shingles. I mean, actually, I did see somebody paint shingles one time.
Oh my!
And I was like, oh my god,
that's a choice.
Yeah, that's a choice.
It is a choice. They hired you as their painter.
Yeah.
No, not true.
Did you say you wanted these shingles blue?
I'm not gonna say I haven't accidentally gotten paint on someone's shingles, but not intentionally.
Yeah, I mean, we did the metal roof because of our addition, right? So when we did this addition, it was like, okay, let's do the whole roof. And I've got a lot of friends in the construction industry, and several of them said, hey, there's a little bit of maintenance that I should do after so many years. Yeah. But outside of that, they felt that it would last a little bit longer than
a little bit.
Shingle.
Like I said, you probably get 40 out, but I just don't think it's going to look awesome from 30 to 40.
I'm 55.
Yeah, so you're good. You're covered, man.
I'll be like Willie Nelson by then. Just not as high.
You just won't care then. You're fine.
Yeah. Maybe you will be as high. Maybe you're going to start smoking dope later.
I don't think, that's not my future.
No?
I'll stick with the tequila.
Yeah.
You can roll me up and smoke me when I die.
Oh, fabulous.
Willie Nelson song.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did not know that.
I knew you
recognized it was
I didn't either. But
so Willie.
Now we do.
It's a Willie Nelson Snoop Dogg song.
Oh, well.
Really?
Yeah, and Willie's 90th birthday party was just on TV last night.
Yeah.
And Snoop came out and actually sang that song with Willie.
That's why he had that all right there ready. He just
He did,
watched
man.
it last
He-
I mean, I did know that already,
just
but I didn't.
watched
I
it
did
last night.
It was in the chamber.
Yeah, he's like,
Very
let
nice.
me see if I can work this in today.
Hey, that man was playing excellent guitar at 90 years old, and I went and played this little open mic night last night, and came home, and then my first thought was, man, I hope I can still play guitar like that when I'm 90 years old.
That's why that was on Facebook.
It is. I was watching a 90-year-old play guitar well.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Are you ready for shots?
Yeah, what are we doing?
We do a shot every show.
Okay.
We didn't tell you about that part.
Well, I'm in.
What would you like to do?
What's your
There's lots of
what's your
choices.
normal drink of choice? Like if you're going to do a shot of something good, what would you do?
I don't know, man. I don't stray too far from my normal path.
What's your normal
Normal
path?
is okay. We don't know you're normal.
I don't want a shot of vodka, but I'm looking through your collection here. I don't like whiskey. I don't do that.
Okay.
I'll do tequila. Give me
I say
tequila.
this whole section here is tequila.
Give me like a silver tequila that you recommend.
I would say don't just shoot it all because this is a great sipping tequila. Actually, this is tequila ocho.
Okay.
Even though it is a blanco and he doesn't have any taste buds, but this is one of a really high end, not expensive, but very traditionally made, fantastic tequila. Cheers, my friend.
All right, man.
Okay. Cheers. Cheers.
I'm supposed to sip this.
At least take a drink, then take another drink.
Have we done this one before?
Nope, you've never
For
given me
real?
ocho. Yeah, keep the ocho away from you.
All
I
right.
figure there's no reason you dog the good stuff.
It's well known on the show that my taste buds aren't very good.
We don't even call them
Not
taste
refined
buds.
at all.
We say he's got taste pals.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not even close enough to be buds. So
I'm assuming after looking at this liquor collection, he would probably put me in your category. So you don't have to say it, but I know where I'd land. Me and you'd be hanging out in the no taste bud zone.
yeah, and tequila is very much not my thing.
Yeah.
Yet we do a lot of the tequila shots. On the
I
show.
drink a lot.
I have two lists. I'm like, I like it and I don't like it. That's my
Right.
list. It's not like, oh, let little oaky taste with a hint of what. None of that shit happens with me.
Gotcha.
I have no idea what flavors
You know,
are in
some people have that big time. Like I don't.
Yeah.
But I can tell like a little bit of I do know what I like and what I don't, and I can taste the bourbon and go, I like that one. No, I don't like that one.
Yeah.
My wife had, that's actually one of her superpowers.
She is
taste.
a superpower. Yeah.
Taste and smell. It's like, holy cow, how did you pick
In
that
foods
up?
and beverages, not necessarily in men.
Correct, because it's top notch.
Oh,
in
dude, that was a
men.
great burn. Oh, I loved it.
Brian knows I love him.
Yeah.
Whatever, jerk. Okay, so
He said, "Whatever, jerk."
you have a few kids,
3 daughters, man. I got
girl dad.
karma
Wow.
coming hard at me, man.
and your oldest just graduated.
Nope.
Is graduating high school.
No, she
Okay.
is. So they just post. You probably saw a post. They just all finished their classes for the year. So
right.
she's a junior.
Senior now.
It's
Yeah.
technically, I guess, a senior now. I got to get used to saying that.
Yeah, you do.
School ended, so technically she's a senior. And then we had one that graduated 3rd grade because that's the last year that they have now. Like my elementary school was like all the way through 6th grade.
Yeah.
Now at 3rd grade, they go to like an intermediate school or something.
Which district?
It's Franklin Township.
Yeah,
She
intermediate
went to
school.
Bunker Hill.
Okay.
I did 3rd grade twice, so
Yeah. By choice as well. I'm
No,
sure.
it wasn't my choice. Hey, the 10th grade was the hardest 4 years of my life. So
Yeah, and then Amory is going into 2nd grade. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
wow, so that's a spread.
yeah.
You're not going to be free for a long time,
No, it actually worked out really well because the little ones are complete animals.
Right.
Total animals. They take after me. I warned my wife we were going to have really, really bad kids. And fortunately, they tricked us on the first one and they gave us a really good kid. And she's like straight A student, like it's National Honor Society. Like, and we're not like,
So she's Whitney.
she's better than both of us.
sorry,
Dude,
Whitney.
she's better than both of us. Sorry, Whitney, but Whitney knows.
We'll edit that little section out so he doesn't have to sleep on the couch.
Yeah, she helps a lot. We don't have to do any work with her. And she's like a huge help. And then we're like, oh, we're really good at this parenting thing. We should have more kids. And then we had the other ones who were like, oh, okay, never mind. That was a fluke.
Yeah,
They're hilarious though. They keep us on our toes and they're funniest. I'll get out, but they're a handful.
that's awesome.
That is awesome.
What about you? You have children.
I do.
Were they all like straight laced and perfect too?
Alex, which is my oldest, she smart girl, not necessarily in application, but she was great at playing school. She was, teacher's favorite, great personality, and got good grades, but hated school. Will the Thrill is the smartest person in the family and super math and, well, really just math person, but made no effort during school because he didn't have to, which is super aggravating. It's like I never, in 12 years of him going to school, I never saw him study for a test.
Yeah,
And he got great grades. Like, holy crap.
My daughter was like that, Brittany. She's a PhD microbiologist. She school was easy, and she made it look easy. And then Blake was like me. School wasn't for Blake, and he tried so hard. And then Logan, my youngest, didn't give a shit. Probably the smartest one in the whole family. Only passed because he was smart enough to ace all the tests without doing any homework.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
They're like, did you do your homework? No. Like he just didn't even care. But so.
I will say the 12 years of school that Will did through high school did not prepare him for college because when he got to college and things got hard, he didn't necessarily know how to work his way out of it.
Yeah, because he didn't do that.
He never really had
Didn't
to
have
put
to.
in the effort. And so it was, how do you study for a test? It doesn't help that he's ADHD.
But what about like you mentioned you were a little bit of a hellion child. I was a hellion child. Like
Yeah.
I don't know about. I think you probably just were like always a
I
good
was
person.
literally voted most typical student in my senior year.
Okay, I seen that. I already knew that. So I wasn't. I skipped out 30. I think it was 36 days. I skipped my senior year, and then the
I
one.
had a hard time skipping on senior ditch day.
Those are the days that they knew we skipped. There was other days where we would sneak in and take our names and mark us that we were there, and then come back at lunch and do it again, so they didn't know we were there.
Nice.
Snuck out, got in trouble all the time. I was always the party guy. And the whole, and you know, my wife and I dated in high school. We had our first daughter in high school, right? We called her a home ec project. She became a PhD. So we're like, oh, we're past.
Yeah.
What we were waiting for is for them to sneak out of the house or to do something they weren't supposed to. And none of my kids did.
Dude, I'm so confused by it.
Is it what the heck is wrong with
That's
them?
what I'm saying when you said, oh, it takes after Whitney. No. Whitney was a bit of a handful herself. And we're like, I'm waiting for it. Because I'm like, I already know what you're going to do because I did it. Right?
Yeah, I was ready for them to push the car down the road and then start it.
Yeah. No, dude.
Didn't happen.
No. Now, I might have that problem with the littles.
They haven't got it. You don't know yet.
I don't think they're quite, and it's a different world now.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
And back
Now they'll
then-
steal a car on the internet.
Yeah. Now it's probably going to be posting something they shouldn't post or whatever. But yeah, I keep waiting for it, and they're not to the level that we were at, and doesn't seem that they want to be. They just are talkative and they argue with each other and stuff like that. Like they weren't out causing the chaos that we were causing.
Yeah, my kids were like, Dad, you're speeding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut up! I'm not going to wear my seatbelt. Like they always pointed out all the things that we always did that they didn't think we should, and they never did anything wrong. I don't get it.
I don't know. I'm glad they don't.
No, I am too.
I'm glad they don't,
didn't
but
have
it was
any of the
confusing.
challenges we had. But it's confusing.
I snuck out of I don't know why it was there, but I snuck out of my mom's house one time in high school. For some reason, she had a ladder up against the side of her house, and I was in that dormer up on the top floor, and it was a steep pitch. Looking back, it was probably about a 10 or 11. Right? And so now that I know this, and so one day I was like, hey, there's a ladder outside. I'm just going to, and she lived on a dead end road.
I'm going.
Out in Brazil, Indiana.
No kidding. So you're from Brazil.
Well, I was from the west side, and then my mom, like my 6th grade year, moved to Brazil. So that was a big culture shock in itself. But I was like, I'm going to sneak out. So I snuck out just fine. Got down, went down the ladder. I ran to the end of the road. They picked me up at the end of the road. 3, 4 in the morning. And this is a farmhouse. 3, 4 in the morning, I come back up the road, climb up the ladder and being all quiet, start going up, and I get to the top. It's winter. I could hit an ice patch. It went whoosh. And now, fortunately, this roof went like this, and then where the porch was, it went like this. So I went, and it shot me out and rocketed me, and I landed probably 10 feet out. We have like 5 dogs, and they're outside.
They all are awake.
I'm like, shh, it's just me. It's just me. And so then I'm like, okay, I still got to get up. So I had to climb back up. I worked my way up the valley and got in, but I was like, I'm never doing that again. And I didn't get caught. Mom's probably going to watch this. Sorry, too late.
Sorry,
now.
Mom.
They know. That's what I found out afterwards. Like, we used to tell this story of a couple of my best friends stayed all night and we snuck out and we were hungry, right? But we didn't want to cook anything in the kitchen, of course. So we snuck out to a village pantry and bought a rotisserie chicken. And then
You guys were animals.
It was still fresh at midnight.
I couldn't eat it. I'm allergic to chicken. They ate it. I had the jerky dogs, the hot dogs that have turned into jerky.
Oh yeah,
And,
prunes. Yeah.
We'd already drank like everything that we could find in the house, so we were pretty buzzed anyway. And we bought this rotisserie chicken, and then we snuck back in the house. And we were so smart that we left all the village pantry shit.
Perfect.
Oh,
yeah.
wait.
So my mom's like, "Who went to village pantry?" And we're like, "I don't know."
I don't know where that came from.
No idea.
So like as we're older, you know, she's like, "Well, remember when you guys went and got that chicken?"
You're like, somebody must have broke in and left their village pantry trash in here. This is ridiculous.
We did so much stupid stuff.
Okay. This makes so one of the things that I love about your company is the free estimates that you guys will do, which not everybody will do. Sometimes it is hard to get a roofer come out, especially if you need them quick. As a realtor, sometimes you need them to get out there fast, and you guys are great. So just a compliment, I guess. See, I don't know if there's a question there, but I love that about your business.
Well, I mean, I would love to stick a plug in here, man, because it is, you know, I started my entire business with realtors, as I told you guys earlier. And so I learned so much doing these things for realtors over the years. And now I've passed it on to all my guys. And one of the things is, you know, realtors need everything done yesterday. They need everything done yesterday, dude.
I just want to chime in and say I've never had any kind of challenge work with realtors. They're the easiest people that I've ever worked with, and
you love them so much.
Blessed that my career is filled with so many agents.
Okay,
Me too.
So anyway, So no, like they helped build my entire business, and it's just, I mean, it's cool. Like, I get it. You guys are, and this is the problem. This is why they need everything yesterday when it comes to this. And so we offer same day, next day inspections for realtors.
Awesome.
Because of that, which same day, next day, like if you call me at 5 p.m., probably not gonna be here the next day.
Sure.
Call me at 9 a.m., I'll get somebody out there today. But the
awesome.
problem is, traditionally when roofing comes up in a deal, it is at the inspection,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so then now you've got a closing date set. Everybody's scrambling to get everything done for this closing date. And if it's an insurance claim, which most of everything is in Indiana, right? When it comes to, storm damaged roofs, I mean, we just got smashed with hail this last weekend. We've been hit 3 or 4 times already this year.
Yep.
And so now you're on a timeline because the insurance company is going to take at least 3 or 4 days, probably more to come out. Then you got to get the scope. Then you got to get the contracts. Then you got to do the roof. And then, it's just, you can't squeeze that time in there. So it's really tough. And so instead of just being the normal, like, status quo of like, if you have a roof problem, call me. Like, we figured out, like, hey, how can I bring value to this and like make everybody's life easier? So we started doing pre-listing inspections, right? And it started with just one side. So pre-listing inspections, I'm like, hey, before you list the house, just let me come look at it.
Great idea.
10 seconds, shoot me a text, right? I show up, I look at it. If there's storm damage, if there's a problem, even if it's like a minor repair that might hit, like, we can get it fixed, right? And then you can list it. But here's the thing. I started working with a realtor that would call me and she'd be like, Operation Shitty Roof. I swear, like, that was her thing. And she'd be like, this roof is green, it's hideous, it's old, see if we can get it changed. So
Roof's so bad it's a floor.
yeah. And so I would go out there and I'd be like, yeah, dude, this thing's peppered. If it's 20 years old or 15 years old, like, it's been hit with 15 storms, like,
Sure.
that caused damage. So there's some problems on it more than likely. And so I would go out and then they'd get new roof, new gutters, sometimes new siding. So now they're getting a full facelift. And now they were going to, this is, a few years ago, but there's a street, Bancroft, downtown, that everybody's kind of like building up right now. Right. And so the first house that made me realize this is they were going to list it for $130,000 back in 2019 or something. I go out, I get a new roof on the house, the detached garage, new gutters, new siding. We paint some of the stuff, and they ended up listing it for like $170,000 or something,
Nice.
like $40,000 more. They had $1,000 deductible. So it made the homeowner $39,000.
Yep.
Right. And then the realtor got more commission. Right. And so I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, we got to start doing pre-listing inspections, because once you've hit that inspection point, you're locked into a price. So now, if they would have called us at that point, now that seller loses $1,000 instead of gains $39,000. The buyer gets all the equity when that happens. So I'm like, dude, call us beforehand. Otherwise, you're losing money, right?
Yeah.
And then we started doing it on the buying side, because unfortunately, I'm the only guy doing this apparently at the time. I'm like, instead of waiting till then, let's do it beforehand. So now we do it on the buying side too. I'm like, if you're buying a house, let me come check it out. We're going to pick it apart, make sure there's no damage. If there is damage, we're going to find it. We're going to have the seller file a claim, and then we're going to earn your buyer's instant equity.
Nice.
Right? And so now, even though that doesn't affect your commission, as the realtor, as the buyer's realtor, it locks in that price because they locked it in here.
Right.
And now they get new roof, new siding, new gutters, whatever's damaged, right? And so now they get 20, 30 grand of instant equity. Trust me, that person is going to be stoked. They just got a full facelift. They got to completely redesign their house. They got to pick the gutter colors. They got to pick the roof colors. They're going to be sending you referrals because they're like, this dude hooked me up. Right. And so now we just do that for all realtors. We got you on the buyer side or seller side. Call us before you list it, before you get locked into a price, and call us on the back end, and we'll make sure and get you that equity. So it's just turned into a whole thing with realtors, and it has worked out awesome for the people that do it. A lot of realtors still call us when there's a problem in the middle of it. They're scrambling.
So I would bet the timing of that is someone just has a regular house inspection, and on the purchase agreement, you say, okay, we're going to have the inspection period 10, 12, 14 days, whatever it might be, maybe 7.
Yeah.
And so they have the inspections somewhere in the first couple of days, and then lo and behold, potential roof issue comes up, and now they're under the gun because that 10, 12 days is about to expire, and someone's got to get out there and give them a roof estimate.
Yep.
So that's That's the issue and why it's so urgent.
Even worse than that, our waived inspections, and now the appraisal says the roof has to be repaired, and now you have less time and a beer crunch to make it happen.
There's almost never enough time to complete a full insurance claim and get the roof done in that amount of time once the inspection happens. It's really hard to do in 20 to 30 days, right? But I have found ways to get, like, let's say sometimes it's going to be a longer fight and we're going to have to go to like, I'm not even, it's called appraisal, but it's not the same appraisal that you guys do. It's having an outside appraiser look at damages. Sometimes we have to do these things where we have to fight for like a couple months to get roofs approved. But I found ways to get all of this stuff done still by having some money set up in escrow and having a contract set and do these things. So there's almost always a way to get it done. But if you're doing this, you've missed out on all the money up front. You've had to drag these problems down the road. Like, just avoid it all. Shoot a few second text to somebody, have them look at it before you list it, get a full. And here's the thing. We give people information all the time. Hey, there's no damage. It's great. Here's a full photo report, and here's a letter that says there's no damage. Right. So even when the inspectors look at the house, I like how you did this.
I know, stupid.
Yeah. Even when the inspectors looked at the house, like half the time they go have a roofer look at it because they don't want to be on the hook on it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can go, hey, I already did that. Here's the full doc. So it's
Nice.
just, it saves a lot of headache is what I'm saying. But you just have to get used to texting us before there's problems.
And shift gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Another thing I like about your company is how you said you provide value. And I'll give a first person account. I had you all come out because you had sent me something that I might have some hail issues.
Yeah.
Because there's been some hail in my neighborhood, past couple of years.
Yep.
So one of your guys came out. Brian might have been his name.
Brian Brown.
Yeah, that sounds right. And he went up and checked out my roof, came down and said, no, man, you're good. Which I appreciate because, you're not trying to bilk me for money. You're not just trying to force a claim from somebody.
No.
It's customer service, and that's awesome.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'd like to hold relationships with the insurance. I own an insurance company as well. Like, I don't want claims just for claims. That's one thing that I don't think anybody can ever say about Indy Roof Company, whether they're an adjuster or somebody else, is they just throw shit at the walls and see what sticks. That's what a lot of people do.
A lot of people
if you look at our Google reviews, which there's over 1,400, you'll see a large chunk of those are, hey, they came out to my house, they looked at it, they told me that I have absolutely no problems. I really appreciate the honesty. When I need something, I'll call them back. Nobody wants to be taken for a
That
ride.
was one of my reviews.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe not word for word, but pretty close.
It's the sentiment, though. Like,
Didn't he write it for you and then you put it in there?
yeah, that's right. You have to just post
I wasn't
this.
going to
Could you
say
please
that,
post it for
Brad.
me?
Brian left me a note. Say
Yeah.
this on
I
Google.
wish that worked.
No,
It doesn't
people just want an honest opinion. They want to be able to trust who they call and not be taken advantage of.
Awesome. We have a drawing to do.
We do. Did you bring name? Did you put names in the thing? Aaron, can you reach up there and grab that hat? It's a Sancho's hat.
So, a couple of episodes ago, we had our man Ruben from Tony's Steakhouse. You ever been to Tony's Steakhouse?
I love Tony's.
Okay. So, we had Ruben, general manager, in here. He was on our episode, and he offered a $100 gift certificate.
Can I put mine down there real quick?
You can't.
Too late.
And so, what we needed people to do was to comment. We had 2 drinks on that episode that Ruben made for us.
Actually, we had 3.
Okay.
That's where we
Oh, he
found
made
out.
them?
He made
he
2.
hooked it
I
all
made
up?
1, and then he said I poured with a heavy hand.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, is that where you got it?
And so someone had to comment what either of the drinks were that we had on the show, and then they had to text me so that we had their contact information because YouTube doesn't necessarily work like that. And so we had a whopping 3 people.
Ooh, the odds are good.
I know, a 33% chance of, except for that person.
Wow, that person.
Oh,
Wow.
maybe cover it like this. So you guys that can't see down here, he just keeps popping them out of the hat. Now this one's down. He's just getting the paper, I swear.
Let's do this. Let's put it up here, and then let's just go.
Do the spinny spin.
There you go. All right, Aaron.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm Vanna White here.
You are.
All right, do I get to read it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Should just be one name on there.
Fred.
Fred Nichols.
That is so awesome.
Super fan.
Fred, you won.
Fred is probably our biggest fan.
He's actually been on the show even.
Yeah.
That is
We
sick,
had him
man.
on as a fan.
Fan, well, I mean, he brought engineering.
Oh, he had great content,
He
too.
did, yeah. It was good.
All right. Well,
Congratulations, Fred.
Shout out to Fred. If you want to take me along, I love
There you go.
Tony's. I'm just
And I
saying.
will send a shout out to my friend Kara, KJ, and my friend Rob for being the other two people who got their name in there. Maybe I'll have something for you fine folks.
And I bet Ruben will take fine care of Fred when he gets there. That's a
absolutely.
guarantee.
Wait, these all say Fred. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Great. Okay, I have a great story from Ruben. He texted me yesterday, and he says, your friends Evan and Olivia said hi. I was like, well, that's awesome. Because I know yesterday was Evan's birthday, so they had gone to Tony's for the birthday, and I was like, dude, that is so cool that they knew who you were. He goes, yeah, they told me they recognized me from the podcast. I was like, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then he says, yeah, like about 10 or so people have come up to me and asked me about the podcast. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Internet famous. Right there.
Tony and I were at Tony's on Friday or Saturday. We went downtown to a concert, and we went there to the bar, and I was talking to a couple of the bartenders, and I said, why don't you guys put the podcast up on one of the TVs?
That's right.
Like YouTube up there, and we'll see how long it takes for Ruben to come get that down. And I told him they were going to do it. He's like, oh, it'll be down in a couple of seconds. He said he doesn't like the way he looks and sounds, like we all say.
Everybody says that at first. I
still don't like the way I look and sound.
I've got used to it. I don't love it. I'm like, damn, I'm doing good. But I'm not.
Yeah, but you've got
I'm not wanting to stab my ears out anymore.
But you have
like
a
I
voice,
used
though. He's the second person on the show that should be like a voice guy, besides you.
Thank you.
Well, yeah. Thanks.
What was
Appreciate that.
the
Jeff Crane
Jeff,
from
there
Home
you go.
Team.
Yeah, he has that
a
voice
great
too.
voice.
You have that voice.
Though
too.
he was in
Yeah.
actually communications of some sort.
I sound like I just sucked helium or something. So
I'm not quite that high.
Nah.
I always say I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look. And then I've had people say, "Well, that's how you sound and look."
So
That
it
really
is.
sucks.
Thanks.
That's why I use a cartoon character in all my stuff instead of a real picture. All right. Well, you're getting ready to head off to Lost Wages, right?
Yes, but by the time this episode airs, I will be back from Las Vegas already. So
And Tony and I will be back from CMA Fest in Nashville, Tennessee.
Ooh, I went to that a couple years ago. That was a good time.
Yeah, we've been going. We missed the COVID years, of course, but we've been going down there for several years.
I think we were there 2 years ago, so we were probably there with you.
Yeah, we were there with you.
you're
Yeah.
taking the camper.
We are actually. We sold the motorhome, so it's our last motorhome trip, and we'll bring it home. We'll park it, clean it out, and a couple will come pick it up. And
Memories. Then you start
we're on
shopping for a new one.
For a new one, yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. All right, well, we can wrap this up. Aaron, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate you driving all the way out here to beautiful McCordsville. Brad, as always, thanks for hosting.
You got a nip in there.
I'm empty.
Thank you for watching. See
you next time.
Drop a comment, share the episode, and call Indy Roofing and Restoration for your roofing and restoration needs. Thanks for being here again.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks.